Hey y'all, it's Andy here, and I have decided to make the spring zodiac shift readings entirely free this season. I don't want there to be any paywall between us when the astrology is so wild this spring. So the shift readings for all zodiac signs for the spring season will be posted in their entirety here on YouTube and on my website, unseenhintstarot.com. You can access them either place. Now, these readings are meant to carry you through the entire spring season. So it's one reading for the whole spring. It drops at the spring equinox. I recommend watching it at the beginning of the season so you can kind of get an idea of the themes that might be showing up for your sun, moon, rising, perfection sign, Venus, maybe, since Venus is going retrograde, whatever you're tracking in your own astrology chart this season. Find the corresponding reading, watch it at the beginning of the season to get a little preview as to what your spring shift might be. And then midway through the season, maybe around April, check back in with the reading, re-watch it, because you'll be able to bring your lived experience of the actual spring, however it's playing out in your life, to that reading, and I guarantee it's going to hit different. And then at the end of the season, you'll look back and watch the readings one more time to connect the dots as to how you have actually shifted throughout the season and get that beautiful hindsight magic. It really is the best part. Okay. So happy spring. It is my gift to you, and enjoy the shifts. Cancer, hello, Andy here. Welcome to your spring 2025 shape shift reading, where we look at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like for the spring season. I'm joined today by the Queer Tarot, the very rare and beautiful slow Holler Tarot, and the Poesis Oracle. So we're going to use these cards to dive into your shape shift. Cancer, this reading is meant to hold you through the whole spring season. This is your reading for the spring. Come back to it, rewatch it halfway through, see how it's resonating with your actual lived experience, and then rewatch it again at the end of the season to get that hindsight magic, connecting the dots for how you've actually shifted over the season. Okay? Okay, Cancer, let's do this. Mars is finally direct and will leave your sign this spring. So let's see the shape you're shifting out of this spring. Great. Shifting out of the Five of Swords, shifting out of conflict, of scenarios where nobody really wins. You know, like, okay, let's all just, nobody really won that fight. They're walking away. You've got these swords to clean up. Yeah, there's some cleanup, I think, to do after a probably pretty contentious period over winter with Mars retrograde in your sign for so long. For so long. Oh my God. Okay, the shape you're shifting into. I feel like Jupiter moving into Cancer in June is going to help. That's the sign of its exaltation. It's a benefic planet, whereas Mars is malefic. So I think it's going to come in and sort of like sweeten any hurt spaces that Mars left in its wake. The shape you're shifting into this spring, Cancer. Nice. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay, which way does this want to go? Okay. Let's take a look at this together. So you're shifting out of the the Five of Swords into the Ace of Wands, into a sense of like renewed energy, renewed vitality, renewed feeling of wanting to create again, wanting to do, having the energy to do things, feeling like your spirit reawakening. re-enlivening. Your creativity comes back. All of that. And it's because of this Knight of Cups, that like sweet babe energy. The sweet Knight of Cups comes in and just says, baby, everything's gonna be okay. You know, which is something that you need. You need that kind of soft, sweet kisses, the romance of that Knight of Cups. You know, can come in many forms. Maybe there's romance in your life, sure, but it can also come in this way of just like feeling kind of that balm of Jupiter moving into Cancer, coming in and just like, okay, here's some sweet stuff again. Here is some beautiful poetry to soothe the wounds of Mars moving through your sign and retrograding for so long. 5 of Swords. You know, let me sing a sweet song to you after all of that went down and just hold you and nurture you and sort of lure you, lull you back to life. Because that's what the Knight of Cups does. It romances you back to life. Ace of Wands. Back to feeling like you have the capacity and the potential to actually move again, do things again, create again. So essentially it's getting your inspiration back after a time when maybe you've just been dealing with a ton of petty squabbles and obnoxious crap, which is like Mars moving through Cancer and just bringing the drama, and there's some cleaning up to do in its wake for sure. Okay, cool. And you know, Cancer, if you've got someone in your life that's kind of wanting to treat you good, like let them come in with, hey, sorry that got so hard, you know? Hey, that got really hard back there. That was a little ugly. How can we find the poetry again together? How can we move from the heart again? How can we kind of like let our hearts guide us forward again? Where's like the healing salve, the balm that can come in and kind of like smooth things over and get the spark back? Okay, let's use the Slow Holler Tarot to come in and clarify. So show me the 5 of Swords, the shape that Cancer is shifting out of. What was the struggle? There's like a tussle, there's like a struggle, nothing's going right, nobody wins, the whole situation just was sucky. 5 of Swords, clarify that, please. Yeah, sure. The moon's coming out for everybody because it's eclipse season, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's tricky. You're having the final eclipse in Aries, which is square to you. There's a really intense, this particular moon card to me shows the moon cycle, the new to the full and the eclipse, because we have like the tail of the snake releasing with the dying flowers and then the mouth hungry and open, the north node reaching for something. So you have these like 2 extremes, and then the moon being incredibly shifty and changing phases and changing moods. And then with like the malefic Mars kind of riding that changing wave. It could just be that the emotional landscape has been pretty volatile over the winter, and the moon is your ruler, Cancer. So I don't think you're any stranger to ups and downs when it comes to your emotional life or to changing how you feel, because that's what the moon does. It changes signs every few days and gives us a whole new story, a whole new wave of emotion or experience to deal with. So typically Cancers are used to that kind of changing dynamic, but with Mars retrograde in your sign in the mix and now eclipse season here in the spring, it can get pretty hairy. The other card that came out is the Four of Stones. Things kind of getting hung up, tied up in knots. I see the Four of Stones as like clamping down. It's like it's like a tight needing to kind of tighten up. So something could have just happened that got a little sharp, a little spicy, and made you kind of be like, oh, actually, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna lock it down because I don't know what that was. I didn't like that, and I feel sort of alarmed by it almost. So I'm just gonna like clamp down and go in my own space and like hold my own, like hold it down by myself for a while. Four of Stones. Needing to sort of grab onto your foundation almost. With the raven, it's like to sort of like, I just see the clutching talons. Four of Stones says, I need to hold on to what I have. Because the moon coming in with the Five of Swords could be that like you got this feeling of like a threat to it. Like I could, oh wow, like with Mars retrograde through my sign and all these like emotional intensities and changes, I could lose this, you know, or like something coming and getting a little snappy as a result. Being like, well, I have this sword, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna defend it, I'm gonna clamp down on what I have. There can be a defensiveness showing up. Okay, what else about the Five of Swords? Shifting out of defensiveness. Yeah. Five of Swords to the Six of Swords. Moving on. Okay, let's take this forward. You know, like let's just get in the car and drive. This isn't, because this isn't going anywhere. So there's this need to kind of, all right, you know, like, let's move on. Let's get in the car and go. You're needing to, whatever like argumentative spaces have been happening that created that like freeze, gripping. There's an opportunity to be like, okay, I think I can like mentally, emotionally, I'm ready to move on from that. Mercury, the Mercury glyph is here. So it could be that this Five of Swords energy continues through the Mercury retrograde through March and April. Mercury's retrograde square to your sign in Aries, and it will go back into Pisces, Mercury and Venus both retrograding through March, and then stationing direct together in Pisces in April, which feels like the Knight of Cups coming in and being like, okay, I know that got a little, you know? So let's come back together. Let's see if we can move on from this a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit of an apology going on with the Knight of Cups. I keep feeling that. Okay, Knight of Cups for Cancer, show me. Show me, show me, show me. Ace of Stones. Cool. This just came out in the Gemini reading, and it was like, it talked about creating a smoother experience, and the Knight of Cups is definitely a smooth talker, Cancer. Coming in to smooth things over with honey words and beautiful poetry. And I'm not saying it's not real. It could be. You know? Okay, let's get a softer experience. The river rushing over the stone and softening it again over time into something less clamped, less rigid, something sort of pliable again, you know? Like, hey, let's work together again. Let's get that clay malleable once more. And this coming out of the cup looks like that river. The Knight of Cups has come to woo you back, Cancer. Interesting. I mean, that could be shown up super literal for somebody, but it could be more metaphorical. So take it as it resonates. Interesting. 3 of Swords could be some heartbreak for somebody for sure. Could have had a little hurt in a relationship. Student of Vessels underneath that, Page of Cups. You know, like I put my heart out there, man. And we got into a little thing and that wasn't nice. That kind of freaked me out. It hurt my heart. And now coming in and maybe with an apology or with a little bit more romance, like, hey, let's get back to some sweet, beautiful poetry. And this could be in a relationship, but this could also just be like in your lived experience. Like, man, my lived experience got super sharp and contentious, 5 of Swords. Like I was just fighting with everybody and super defensive and clamped down. But now I'm ready to move on from that. And soften that experience by like examining how I felt hurt, 3 of Swords, and then kind of we're seeing like smudging, like smoke clearing out the hurt. Okay, I want to clear out the hurt and get back to loving. I want to love my people and my work and my life again. Like I want to kind of get back to that softer, more heart-led experience. Again, Venus and Mercury as this Page and Knight of Cups going direct in Pisces. Very cool. And you also got the Awakening card. Kind of cool that there's these 2 eyes here, because this is a thing, like it's not that the fight in the 5 of Swords, that contention was necessarily invalid, because it may have kind of awakened you to something that you weren't aware of previously. Pain can do that. Awakening is the Judgment card in the traditional tarot, which does signify some sort of big, like trumpet sounding awakening moment of like, okay, this is a huge reckoning. It could be. Awakening, opening back up after some like contentious times, basically. Okay, Ace of Wands. Shifting into the Ace of Wands. Two of Branches, I immediately felt I can breathe again, because we've got these like lungs, the rib cage, the honeycomb, and the branches growing up and out of them. 2 of Wands, I can breathe again. And the Ace, then we have the 1 to the 2. So we had the 5 of Swords to the 6, and now the 1 to the 2. So there's something about like, okay, the opening, 2 of Wands for me is like an open door, an opportunity opens up to breathe again, to feel alive again, to feel like you have opportunities. Like suddenly things feel like they're opening up a little bit more after a time when things were pretty clamped down, contentious, maybe even like heartbreaking in ways. And it's like things are softening now. Things are kind of like emotionally softening, and the heart can be felt again. And then that's like opening up potential for opportunities for new exciting things. Ace of Wands is like the potential for new excitement. So tell me more about that. Cancer. It's like similar to the Aries energy. Was it Aries? Yeah. Aries is like coming back to life, coming alive again after a really intense time. And Taurus actually too was like opening themselves up a bit. Whoa, that's a lot. Hold on a second. It might be too much. Okay. It is too much, but we got a lot of like the Fool energy, Ace of Swords. So again, like aces, and the Fool is the card 0. It's the very beginning. So you could be just opening up to a new opportunity, to being willing to take a leap of faith, to kind of start over with something. Cancer, Ace of Wands, the shape you're shifting into. Stop. Okay. The Storm. It's the Tower. Oh, great. Opening up to another shitstorm. I don't want that for you. Explain. This could be talking about things we can't yet see from where I am doing this reading. What day is it? The 27th. So I'm at the Pisces new moon in February 27th. Mars is direct, but Venus and Mercury are not yet stationed retrograde, and we haven't even had eclipses yet. So like, I don't know. The sword is in front of my eyes and I can only see my own eyes, you know? So it's like, there's something sort of probably blocking my sight in terms of what is yet to come. And I'm saying that too because the Oracle, the High Priestess, is on the bottom of the deck. Honestly, this almost feels like a side conversation speaking to me only. I mean, speaking to you too, but it's like speaking to me, to you, through your reading. You know what I mean? It's not clarifying the Ace of Wands necessarily, but it is sort of cluing me in that my sight is limited at this time in terms of like the changes yet to come in the spring season. And it is the most like wild astrology of the year. So that makes some sense. So we're gonna, oh, interesting. I just sort of shuffled the deck and then the Fool ended up on the bottom, which is what I saw before. So let's just go ahead and take that, and then I'm gonna shuffle one more time. Jeez, the Guild is like an organization. It is a social structure. It is the government. It is some sort of like organization that creates a structure that leads other people, aka the higher law. And so I think especially, oh wow, and the Oracle's on the bottom of the deck again. So, okay. There's some things I think that are gonna go down this spring that we obviously don't yet know about. And that this reading is like generously cluing us into, that have to do with structures of society and government that are beyond, like bigger than each of us individually, that are probably like shifting in some really big ways that we can't yet see, that are going to kind of spur this new energy. So actually, before we look at this together, I want to get the oracle card advice for you, and then we'll just look at the whole damn thing. It's like something is sparking in you. Something is reawakening and re-enlivening you. You're like feeling the air in your lungs again. And that is like opening up a new opportunity for you to kind of like go on like a different or like a new journey with the fledgling, the fool, this card 0. And this card in particular is like this person packed up in the middle of the night, didn't even have time to tie their shoes, and just like went out in it. And was like, well, I'm not thinking too hard about this because I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do this new journey. Not even stopping to tie their shoes. So it kind of could put you back in this headspace of just like the Knight of Cups softened things in this way after the 5 of Swords that put you in this place of like, yeah, I'm game for anything again. Like I'm ready to start something new and like fly by the seat of my pants and just go. Just like leave in the middle of the night almost, maybe because of some bigger things that are going on in society that are making you be like, well, giving you this sort of like spark to do something new. And it might feel kind of drastic or it might feel kind of big. Okay. What's the oracle guidance for Cancer this spring? Hold. Okay, interesting. That feels very much like this 4 of Stones, 5 of Swords thing where it was like clamping down. Holding because things were so contentious and like conflicty. Okay. Conflicting. What else? Advice for Cancer this spring? Whoa. Transform. Okay, huge transformation. Transform. And one more. Okay, so then it's recharge so that you can transform. Okay, let's take a look at this. Truly, together. We'll explain the whole thing. Okay. The 5 of Swords happened. This just Mars retrograding through your sign all winter, creating an environment that is contentious. It is full of conflict. It is like one conflict after another, and maybe just leaving you in some pain, making you feel like you need to kind of clamp down because of it's just too volatile. It keeps changing, and nothing, you know, that was certainly true, like socially, politically, and I'm sure it reflected in many of our personal lives as well. And so maybe in coming out of the winter season, you're kind of in this holding space. But maybe after Mercury's retrograde and all of that through March and April and Venus as well, you're feeling like you can move on from that hurt. Because now we have the Knight of Cups and recharge. So this just feels to me like Mercury and Venus going retrograde and then stationing direct in Pisces, which is that Knight of Cups, that lover boy, you know what I mean? Like that romantic that's just here to rejuvenate you, to kind of lull you back to softness and to help you kind of open your heart back up again. But the pain points of the last few months have been awakenings for you. And you are sort of at this maybe like big moment of awakening where you're like, I don't want to do this 5 of Swords constant conflict anymore. I do want to live a softer, more romantic life that is more restful with the recharge. So after this time of recharging and letting the Knight of Cups kind of like romance you back into your heart, that's healing. And that's this awakening for you that then as the events of the spring continue to unfold and we get these retrogrades, we get these eclipses, things will probably pop off, at least here in America where I am. So the more things pop off on that like larger social scale, I think the more you are willing to take a leap of faith and transform your life or transform things in a really big way, because you get your energy back. Ace of Wands, it's sort of like lights the fire under you to do something. And Two of Wands, you have an opening. You can see a space or an opening that would give you more space to breathe, more room to breathe, more just like, yeah, just breathing room. And you might get like the enough energy and enough like gumption under you to take a leap of faith really fast with the Fool. And it's almost like this, again, like packed up and left in the middle of the night, didn't even tie their shoes because of everything going on outside of them. And so that is not yet, you know, this like sidebar conversation that happened that I'm including in your spread, is that like, it's like this gift from the Oracle sort of giving us a preview that the storm is yet to come. And the Student of Knives here is us. Like, we can't even see it. We can see it, but we can't even see it. And so, and as such, you're just going to have to live through this experience. And when you, let's put it like this, when you get to the Fool, the card 0, the fledgling, and the Ace of Wands, and that opening Two of Wands happens, and you're like ready to transform, you have the opportunity to transform, you will know it. And I think it's really interesting. And again, this could just be talking about like our larger us. This could be kind of a collective reading and like talking about it on a larger social scale, because look at this like moth in the guild. It has a broken wing because it's living through this storm. Like, these larger social structures are broken, and there's this potential opportunity to transform. Look at the butterfly, the wings are whole. So I don't know, Cancer, I don't know. There's some stuff in this reading that is bigger than you and me, and bigger than all of us, and it is clearly like impacting you directly in some way because it's showing up in your reading so clearly. Very interesting. But there's this, after some tough times, there's a chance to kind of recharge and come back to your heart and let your emotions, the dust settle on your emotions a little bit. And then there will be this opportunity, this spark to make a change potentially, or to transform in a big way. Probably spurred by current events, social, political events. Okay, interesting, Cancer. Again, these readings are meant to be watched and rewatched throughout the season so that this can support you as the spring unfolds in its many events and nuances. So watch it and rewatch it. If you would like to connect with community, that link to join the Discord is free. It's in the link in the description box. And if you want a personal reading with me to look at how this is unfolding in your life, that link is in the description as well. All right, Cancer, honey, take care.